everyone. So I guess we are live. Okay, great. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this exciting webinar that we've titled "The Invisible Engine." Right? We're talking about how payments infrastructure powers African businesses. My name is Titi Layo, and I head product marketing at Budgetti, and I'm your moderator or host for today's webinar. I'm super excited that all of you are here today, and I promise that this conversation will really be a big eye opener for you. I believe that it has the potential to shift your perspective around how platforms and tools are driving ambitious business across Africa. So we're going to start this way. I want all of us to first acknowledge something that we've often taken for granted in our daily business activity, which is payments, right? Most of us see payments as just sending money, receiving money, you're paying your vendors, you're collecting money from your customers. And why all of these are daily routine that happens in businesses, right? The system that make it all work efficiently, quickly, quietly, is far from simple, right? In fact, those systems are from what we are calling the invisible engine, the engines that are working behind the scene. So in this section, we'll be discussing how these engines, right, they've evolved from just a back-end technical details to becoming the good driver that are enabling African businesses to operate faster, smarter, and efficiently, right? We'll also hear how tools and platforms like Budgetti also complement these engines that can also be called infrastructure, or to help African businesses scale with confidence, right? So this is a very, very interesting conversation, right? I'm not the only one speaking about this. I have the experts, right, on that can speak about this topic any day, anytime. So I have two speakers joining me on the call. First, I have Nubike. A little bit of introduction. Nubike is the startup program lead at Paystack, is somebody that is deeply plugged into our startup growth stage businesses are using payment technology to scale. Just to tell you how broad his expertise in payment is, he has also worked at Stripe, right? So keep your finger crossed because you are in for an amazing conversation again. And joining him on the call, I have Achille. Achille is the CEO of Budgetti. Plot twist, right? Before I go into the introduction about Budgetti, actually I'd worked at Paystack for like 3 years before he founded Budgetti. So when I say I have the experts on the call, trust me, I got you, right? So back to my introduction. Budgetti is the finance control center that give your business total control over how money move from across teams, budgets, approvals, everything from expense management to automated payment to smart corporate card, invoicing, budgeting. Essentially, Budgeting brings all of your financial operation into one unified platform, right? So that said, if you are a founder, somebody that is joining us today that is a founder, a finance lead, a developer, or someone that's just curious about how does payment infrastructure typically work in Africa, trust me, you're in the right place, right? So if you have questions that you would like our speakers to answer, please drop them in the comment section and we'll pick them, right? And then let our speakers address it. So that said, that out of the way, we're going to start this conversation, right? But we're going to start it with something that it's pretty much less obvious to everybody, right? We're going to start it by talking about the role that payments play in business growth. So I'm going to start with Nubi, right? Nubi, with your experience working at Paystack, having worked at Stripe, engaged with hundreds of businesses, both the small and the big ones. Why do you think that businesses, right, these businesses often underestimate the importance of payment infrastructure, even though it plays such a critical role in how the business either grow, scale, or even become stagnant, right? Do you want to share something with us, Nubi? Thank you. Your mic is mute if you're speaking, please.
Yep, I was actually afraid of that, and it actually happened. But yeah, thanks so much, Titi, for the introduction, and I'm glad to be on this conversation. It's good to see Ashil again. Yeah, my name is Nubi K. I lead, like I said, startup programs at Paystack, and Paystack is really payment infrastructure for ambitious businesses in Africa, and just again, how do we further the African ambition? And you're spot on. I think many founders, especially in the very early stage, are rightly focused on building the products, acquiring the customers. That payments often look like a back end problem, like it's not really front of mind. Like I want to just write the code, ship the product, get customers, and that's it. Like, yeah, I would. Why would I be
Think
going deep
about payment
on
later.
bigger? Yeah, exactly. So it's a back end problem until it becomes a bottleneck, and it's like, oh wait a minute, like I've built this amazing thing, or I've found product market fit, but wait, the people can actually like pay me for it, and so it becomes like a bottleneck. And so in reality, payment infrastructure isn't just about a cost center. It is a growth lever, and so if customers can pay you quickly enough, securely enough, and the way that they prefer as well, I think growth then stalls. So you just have people coming to the party, but they can't get in. And so at Paystack, I've seen businesses unlock new revenue streams or just by just enabling like newer payment methods and automating reconciliation as well. I think we're also where like budgeting approach is quite smart, offering like finance teams, like you mentioned, better visibility and control over their spend, and creates again the kind of efficiency that most startups only discover the need after painful experiences or they've lost opportunities as well. So I think it's that I think that psychology of like again, when do I start thinking about payments is really where things break. Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you. So I hear you said that at Paystack, you've seen our businesses, right? Maybe at initially they've gone through the painful thing and then discovered that oh, payment is important, that they're reaching out to Paystack and all of that. Do you want to give us like one, maybe not necessarily mention the business name, but one real thing about how that unlocked growth for the business?
Yeah, one actually a business that actually comes to mind is they're in the cross border kind of like commerce or cross border for remittance kind of role, and for them like it was really um how do they easily just again stitch different systems to enable people make payments for services internationally, and of course they could go the route of like let's just get the customers in and we'll figure out that later. And that's what actually they did actually. And then they had like a lot of just users there on their platform on their wait list or signed up but unable to use the product or pay for the product until they're like, okay, wait a minute, like why not just again rather than go through this cumbersome process of stitching many systems, why not just again just like get a parent partner that has the right infrastructure to help us unlock this, and we just focus on again on customer acquisition and having that good experience with them. So they came to us and we started working with them, and I think after they went live in just one market with us, they were able to like 10x just again their revenue crippling in. And quickly they started seeing demand from even other markets that they were not even aware of or even thinking about. And then again, because again, Paystack is in multiple markets, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, they actually launched Ghana next with one of our again products that doesn't require you having a local entity there in the market as the merchant of record products. And quickly they all started getting again. I mean, they're doing like 10K, an additional 10K dollars in MRR from a new market that they were not even thinking about as well. So unlocking growth just again because they're able to say, okay, do you know what? Let me just pay a little bit of attention into how people pay me and what opportunities exist with partners in the market. And that was how they even like not only become successful in their own markets, like 10x in their volumes, but again, unlocking even more growth and in new markets as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So there's a business that, in this case, the business that you mentioned, right? They build a fantastic product. Let's say that, and then they have customers coming in, but they couldn't even monetize this product. They couldn't monetize this, and then coming to Paystack or leveraging Paystack infrastructure, they not only first were able to get money from the existing customers, they even 10x it and even open new markets. That's like a fantastic one, right? That's solid. Achieve from your end, right? Do you agree that with what Nobi say around businesses first building all of their solution and then thinking about payments later? Or why do you think that they often estimate the importance of payment infrastructure for their business?
Okay. Thanks for having me again. Yeah. So it's great to see Nubi, of course. That's my boss. But yeah, I totally agree. Especially for growth, right? For you to unlock new market, to go somewhere else. I usually call it short-term vision, right? And Nubi started by saying Paystack is for ambitious company, right? Of course, that's why BJT is out of Paystack because he's ambitious. So that's why what we do, that's what we do. But that's short term of I will stay here, I will grow here, I don't need to go elsewhere. But because I don't know how to go elsewhere, I don't know anybody there, right? Who can help me? I don't know any bank. Well, if you look at infrastructure, or Paystack already did it, why do I have to worry? I just go there. Can I work with you? Yes, and you move. And we have this thing, cash and trust. That's if I will add those two things as last add, right? Cash and trust. For us, payment is cash. I give you money, you paid me. I don't give you money, I didn't pay you, right? And that's why some companies, some other infrastructure, some other apps, instant settlements. You pay automatically, you get the money. You were paid. No money were moved, right? And Paystack have payment on demand, right? Payout on demand, for example. It's the same thing. We need to trust the infrastructure. We need to know the money is here. So people usually say, "Oh, I have this software or I have this product." It's cash payment. So you pay me in cash, I was paid. But you can actually 10x, 100x if you go online. And to go online, you cannot get payment online. I think that would be 2016, 2017, maybe early 2016, late 2015. Cash on demand, right? Anywhere you want to buy anything in Nigeria, somebody come, you give them cash. That was payment for back then in 2015, 2016. And 2016, Paystack came out, right? So that's infrastructure evolved from being cash-based, carries, cash on demand, payment link. Now you can pay someone instantly. So for businesses to now trust people that, oh, if I'm paid online, actually I was paid. As soon as we can get that trust out and go cashless, because now I saw a report earlier today, POS payments are going up in Nigeria, right? Um, it's still not cashless. Cashless is Scandinavia. You go there, you go to the ATM, there's no cash actually. That's cashless because we don't trust each other yet. So that's why I think that's the last thing I will add to what Nubi said.
Okay, so trusts, right? And also the involve our technology has also been involved over time, right? So before now, businesses are kind of like restricted to only customers that are within their reach that can give them cash. But now with technology, this thing has skyrocketed, right? And then now what businesses need to understand that with technology, you can 10x your number, like Nobi say, you can be in one location and serve people across the world, provided you have like a solid payment infrastructure that work. So actually still speaking about money, because I hear you say money, I hear you say cash. There's a question that I want to ask you, right? Um, in your experience working with closely with business now, because as a CEO of Budgetti, I'm sure you're working closely with business, right? You know that once money coming, right? Once money coming to the business, chaos still follows it, right? What are some money mistakes or inefficiency that you often see in how businesses typically manage their inflows or even money generally? Like, what are some mistakes that you have seen?
Oh, one
Did you get the
particular.
question?
Yes, I did hear the question. So, for example, I will just because of having Paystack and BJT stake. How many bank accounts can a particular business have in a real, like, I mean, I won't say in the real world, but in a good world, right? In a good society, how many business accounts can a business have? To the answer to the question, at least in Nigeria, is a lot. So one company, multiple bank accounts. You have money there, and there. You don't know where the money is. Are you rich? Yeah, maybe. Do you have money? Yes, maybe. But you don't have all the money, so you cannot actually invest at all because you don't know, oh, do I have 2 million or three? Or to know that I have to log in here, 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 put all together and now repatriate all the money back before I can make an investment. That's, let's say, 2 months, right? If in 2 months, maybe somebody else come in and to take off. So how many accounts can we have? You have multiple accounts. You have to pay maintenance fee for each one of them. But that's what business go through today, and it's fine for them because they just assume that's how it is. That's not how it should be. It doesn't matter how many solutions like BJT there are in Nigeria. The goal is we can have a few of them, we can have multiple of them, we cannot have 100 of them. The banks cannot keep doing what they do without supporting businesses, right? And the business is true. We should ask for more. As a business, we should ask for more. We should aspire for more. And again, Nubi started with saying ambition. We should be ambitious. And by being ambitious, yeah, you will reduce the number of bank accounts that you will have. You have all your money at least at almost at the one same place, so you can actually think and invest the money, plan and invest your money, so you don't overspend or you underspend because you didn't know that you still have some money there, or you have some money coming in from there, or these guys owe us some money, or we owe this supplier some money. You don't know any of that. You just go, oh, I have 100 million coming. Yeah, but out of the 100, 89 million is already gone. So you only have 11 million actually, but you don't know. All you see is, let's take two sides of it. You are at Paystack, you see all these inflow coming, payment, international payments, right? Well, the money is going out, you don't know, right? So maybe that's where you need BJT to have both sides, right? Money coming, BJT make sure the right money goes out, and the rest you keep it to buy a small Corolla instead of buying a Range Rover.
Okay, so I hear you. So one mistake that you see that businesses typically make is they have like more their money is spread across different banks, right? And essentially, and then based on that, they can make assumptions to say, oh, I have X amount of money, and they can over and or underspend because of the assumptions that they're doing, right? So essentially, maybe let's say, right, just saying, with a platform like Budgetti, they can have everything, they can have full visibility into everything happening in one place, and that way they're not working based on guesswork. They have accurate data that they're typically using to ensure that, oh, they're making the right decision part time. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Sorry, just
And
to
Obi,
add. Sorry,
okay,
sorry,
go ahead.
just to add, because this might mean, because some people may say, oh, in that case, why use BJT? Because BJT kind of we also push people for segregation of fund, right? The thing is, you cannot segregate your fund too much, right? At least there should be a policy on, if you segregate too much, reconcile, right? It will, oh, now we are done with this project, this money should go back to the main source, which is not the case, for example, right now. So if, let's say, for the sake of argument, let's say we fire somebody tomorrow and we forgot that we have money on our pay stack balance, for example, we can just go and claim the money. And I will not know because I forgot, right? So I'm obviously for segregation of funds. It's just that don't segregate too much, or if you're segregating your funds, use the right tool to segregate your funds, right? So that's the thing. So segregation of fund is good. Too much is not good.
Okay, all right. Thank you for adding that bit of things, right? And maybe I'm going to come back to you, right? And I trust me, this is something that I've seen people say even before I joined Budget. I've heard people say this. All right, let's take it from this angle. The same way that a lot of people from the outside think that payment is just about getting money in, sending money out, they also think that Paystack is just a payment gateway, right? But I know, and I think we on this call know that there's more beneath the surface, right? Can you share some behind the scene innovation that Paystack is building or is doing to support African or business growth actually?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're spot on. Like, I think when when payments work, yeah, like it's almost like magic, right? It's like, oh, I just paid and everything went smoothly. When payment breaks, whenever those, oh, wait a minute, there's these people that have been working on payments and we should go after them. And so yeah, it's yeah, that's just the nature of the gig. But you're absolutely right. Like what looks like just a card payments company on the surface, um, is actually backed up by a whole system. We have like fraud detection, smart routing, um, correcting conversion, API reliability. So we're always like again available uptime, even customer support as well when things go wrong. There's like hundreds of people who are there, like again combing through cases and helping resolve things as well. So at Paystack, we're building tools that go beyond just collecting payments. So for example, like we started about just like online payment for a long time, but quickly we noticed that again in Africa there's a lot of like in-person payments, and we have the Paystack terminal, whether it's the physical one or the virtual terminal, for in-person businesses to be able to like again make payments. Split payment is another example as well. So with the very interesting like again business models where you have to like set money comes in from one place but has to go into like 3 4 places, be able to like do that programmatically, for marketplaces, for platforms, again of course like real-time dashboards and reports as well for finance teams as well. So we also empower developers with sandbox environments and robust docs to move faster. So again, they're actually again thinking what else could we build, what feature, what ambition are we looking to realize yet. So it's about building infrastructure. It's not sexy. It's not like this shiny app that you launch. There's so many like below the surface in the dark like way of work that goes into this. But again, that scales as the business grows and integrates seamlessly into their own systems as well. So like I said, when things work, there's a lot of work that has actually gone into into things for them to be that way. So yeah. And with of course with the ascent of again cross-border stable coin, AI and all, like Paystack, being part of the Stripe company, or Stripe group, is also again riding on these waves as well. Like Stripe acquired Bridge for like over $1 billion, and we've started working with Bridge as well to again do an early exploration around stable coin and all, and just supporting cross-border ambitions because it has. We for the first, like let's say for the first V1 of Paystack was like just again planting flags in different markets and going deep with those markets. And you think about like V2 to be more again, like how do we then like link these markets where a Nigerian merchant can then sell again to any other markets without being in those markets, and also even globally to other markets as well without being there. I think stable coins and cross-border trade and commerce would help move this faster as well. So yeah. We're in the midst of moving money. Definitely, I will not shy away from that, but it is a lot of work that goes into making that happen seamlessly.
Yeah, thank you. So again, my to my audience and people listening to us, if you think that payment is just if you think that Paystack is just a payments gateway, you are right and you're wrong. There's a lot of things that Paystack typically offers, and you probably want to maybe explore, look again, go to their website and explore all of these things. They have like so much more than just payments gateway to offer to you. I'm going to get into this, right? I'm trying to move and also balance with time. There's this thing in movie that we've seen again and again and again where I think you also mentioned it when you spoke earlier, where businesses or startup, right, say Chowdick, right, they choose not to reinvent the wheel of building payment system from scratch, right, but instead they partner with platforms like Paystack to sort of help them power their payment flow so that they can maybe focus their energy on what really moves the needle for them. Now, compare this to a few years ago, right, where a lot of startup felt like, oh, I can build everything in house. I want to build a platform. Let's use the word super app that can do everything for me. My customer can order, they can pay me here, and I want to do everything by myself. Why do you think the model that's the one before, the one that I mentioned that Paystack work with, they don't reinvent the wheel, they just partner with you, right? And lean on solid structure, right? Makes more sense for startup and business today.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. That's a very good question. And I would say it's simple as well. Focus for any startup is a superpower. Like the more you can cut away things to
Honest.
do, and tasks to get, like, yeah. And you're right. Back in the day, like, not startups didn't have the luxury of this. I know many startups like out of CC Hub, shout out to the CC Hub guys, who they started off wanting to build a startup. but they ended up being a payments company because payments was just not a thing. And so, and I can name a number of startups that actually went that route. And so again, for them, it was just the reality of the day. Like they had to first build payments and then build the product on top of the payments. But now it's just not the same anymore. Like we have good, very clear quality rails that people can build on top of. And so that then makes, again, like I said, focus a superpower. Trying to build and maintain your own payment stack is just not, it's not just a technical lift. Like it's regulatory, it's operational, like it's full of hidden complexities. And so at Stripe at Paystack, we say we're all about abstracting those complexities. Like that takes hundreds of engineers and also imagine say I want to have my own payment company within my company. Like you're pretty much building two businesses. And so and payment is not just again just that point of transaction. There is the pre, there is the during, there is the post. I mean, think about like refunds and chargebacks and like it's just so much stuff. And so by plugging into platforms like Paystack or even using Budgetti for your expense and financial ops, startups can really stay lean and focus on what really matters to them and their customer experience. And so the trusts that comes from again reliability, say in 99.5% uptime, which Paystack currently has, to 24/7 fraud monitoring. Um, and I mean, founders don't have to worry about scaling their own infrastructure as well when their user base go 10x because you have to think about scale and growth as well. So I think it's just again that just a smarter thing to do is it helps with focus. It helps to actually, I mean, but I think you cannot really underestimate what it takes if you want to say, okay, let me do all this in myself. So I think again for founders, and of course, when you've blown and gotten all the funding and you want to go and build your own payments company, I mean that could be viable at that time. But now, I mean, in the early stages, in the growth stages, is like how quickly can I go and really working with partners that can deliver on really good infra for you. So you just again focus on customer experience and growth and value capture is what's important. Yeah. So that's how I'll say. Yeah, focus is a superpower. So don't waste that.
Yeah. I love how you nailed it, right? Like now you can focus on the thing that actually move your business forward, right? And then again, like you said, payments is not just collect payments. There's the pre-post, there's the pre-doing and then post, right? There's fraud, there's cashback. And I've been in a startup before that has to deal with fraud, and it's not beautiful, it's ugly, right? So if you can partner and this new model now, if startup can partner with payments infrastructure, people that have done it, they know the in and out of how to quickly pay everything that has to do with payments should go. That's like a smart way to actually move, right? So thank you so much, Nobi. That's rock solid, right? At you, right? To you, right? Because you've been quiet for a while. With this mindset shifts that we are seeing, right? That we are seeing that payment infrastructure is not just a utility, it's not just something that I'm just using to collect payments, right? Or rather, if I go to Achu, maybe I should ask a follow-up question for Nubi, right? Nubi, I want to ask you these questions. Now you said focus is a thing while this model makes more sense. Do you think ease is one of it? Do you think trust is also one of it? Is it that these businesses like Child they feel confidence knowing that Paystack is handling everything that has to do with payment, right? And would you also say in the case that customers also now say, oh, if it's Paystack, I trust it, the payment will go, or if there's an issue, they will resolve it. So do you think it's in addition to focus, do you think it's also the ease, it's also the trust that it builds between this business and their customer?
Yeah. I think ease, trust, and costs are one of those three things I have to pick two. And so I will agree that yes, because they're all linked in a way. If you think about it, for me to focus and not think about or worry about payments as a thing, and not having like payment engineers who are optimizing my payments or are dealing with refunds and all, outsourcing all of that. That's ease and makes me again just focus on what I'm doing. So yes, But you want to do that with a trusted partner as well, because the last thing you want to do is then you outsource that, and then that breaks the whole experience, because you're like, oh, onboarding amazing, sign up amazing, product payment, everything breaks. You're like, I mean, nobody's going to say, you guys are good, but your payment partner is bad. No, it's like you are bad. So the trust has to, like, so it has to be on the same level. Like, if you have a bar for the quality that you're looking to offer to your customers, you want to be getting payment partners or payment infra partners who can actually deliver on that as well, even go beyond that, even push you to be better, even when you talks about, like, when you're thinking about ambition as well. And of course, I say cost, because again, if you choose ease and trust, then you might need to pay a little bit more premium for that. And I've seen founders who tell me that they're like, guys, you're not the cheapest, but I can sleep at night. So for that sleep I'm sleeping, I know I'm paying a little bit more, because if I don't pay that little bit more, then at 2 a.m. I will get a call that money payment is not going through, and I have to go, because it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheaper, but then it's going to cost me later on as well. So I think that's one thing I always just encourage founders as well. Like, don't get too bogged down by the commercials and say you have to make all the margins at this stage, because well, guess what? If you grow very well with your partner, you have leverage to say, guys, I was small, now I'm big. Let's talk discounts, let's talk concessions. But if at the very early stage you're all about every single cent, and trading that off for, like, again, quality and trust, and then yes, then you pay a higher price, because if the users then go away, then it's going to be hard to get them back. So I would say yes, trust definitely is, but again, think about the cost implication of that as well. That comes at the price as well. Yeah.
Okay, you said four key things. We have the first one, which is primary, which is focus, right? It helps you, like, stay focused on the things you do. Then there's ease, there's trust, and also costs, all right? You just have to be able to look at all of these key things, right? When you're picking even a payment partner that you're working with. So thank you so much, right? Actually, I'm coming back to you now, right? Like I said, with the mindset shift that we are seeing, where payment infrastructure is no longer a just collect payments. I want to collect payments, right? It's also like a trust signal. Oh, I trust this business. Like, using a payment infrastructure that I can trust, right? Businesses also can say, oh, I can trust this payment infrastructure. I can go to sleep knowing that I'm not going to wake up by 2 a.m. to start firefighting. What does that mean in your own view, right? How do you think that a smooth payment experience shape how customers sees a business, right? Let me make it clear for you. Say, for instance, I'm a customer. I want to buy from Nubuke Limited, right? And then one time I tried paying Nubuke on his platform, and then the payment doesn't go through. And I was like, I better go. Or I see a strange payment thing that I've never seen before. I'm like, I don't know if this is clear or something. But when, maybe for instance, I then see like a paystack. Wow, I trust paystack, right? This will definitely go smooth. If my money hangs or if it fails, I show that they can process it. So how do you think that a smooth payment also help businesses also manage their customer, as the case may be? Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the question. I will not give details, but there was a time I went to Lagos, and one afternoon I sent an email, right, to most of our providers. And it was like a truthful, heartfelt email to let them know how they were messing up. Not because I was messing up, not because BJT was messing up. They were messing up. But none of the customers knew that. For the customers, that was me. And as Nubi mentioned, I got calls, I got WhatsApp message, emails, and whatnot. So I sent the email to everybody. At that time, everybody started calling me. And I told every single one of them, this is not the time to call me. You should have called me earlier. Or you should have listened to me last time when I told you this is a problem or whatnot, right? And those are things that will not happen if you choose a different provider. Hey, it's not even the provider. They will trust you just because they see you are working with this provider. Some people will just give you more credit just because they saw powered by Paystack or in partnership with Paystack, right? And for you too, it gives you less pressure. Another fun story. Maybe I will give you two fun facts. So another fun fact. While doing YC, I think, maybe if you remember, we had this call during YC. Before the call, we actually lost our providers. For 2 weeks, we couldn't transact. So for 2 weeks, we had to find new providers, do integration, do testing, and go live, right, in 2 weeks. And there was 9 hour difference between Lagos and SF. So we still have to do it. I barely slept during that time. So it was 4 months of no sleep. Why? Just because other providers were not taking your part seriously. I will handle my part. You handle your part. We will be good. Because if you are good, I will look good. If I look good, you will look good. Your software might be crap. It might not be working the way it should, but I can make it look. Or you can make me look nice. And that's what every single person is, a chain. You have a chain. As I mentioned, is we take Paystack inflow. We can say BJT outflow, right? There is no outflow without inflow. Or if the money come in and it's not going out, then economy is not growing. So we are not actually doing anything. We are just collecting money and keeping it for somebody else, right? So those are the things. The last fun fact is because Nubi was quoting some features of Paystack, and he mentioned split and kind of brought tears to my eyes. That's me. So technically, that's, I think, split's kind of one of the early ways of BJT coming to life, because we went from single split to multi-split. So it's now it was no longer about money coming in. It was about when money comes in, what does or what happens. Or we can shift money there. We can send money to this person, that person, and the rest here, right? Now it's no longer payment, it's operation now, right? So that's why it's like sometimes I've introduced BJT as FinOps and not FinTech. We are a financial operations software. So your money came in. So what's going on? What is next? So that's how I see the whole thing. So yeah, you work with some people, you work with other people, but every single person needs to understand that they are important in that engine. And you need to just be the best at what you do. Don't try to do what I do, or don't try to do what other people are doing. Do yours the best. I cannot, if I go to sleep, I don't have to worry about Paystack. Why? Because if something happens, it's Steve's problem. It's not my problem. It will only get to me when Steve can no longer handle it. That's when it will become Achilles' problem, right? And that's the beauty of it. If Paystack cannot do the refund, then it comes to us, and then we do a refund, for example. But if Paystack can handle the refund, they just send a notification. Or we send the money back. Say, okay, then we have to figure it out. So that's how I see it. Everybody is playing a part, and everybody should be best at what they do. That's how we all become best.
All right, thank you so much, Achir. Right, I'm just going to try and reiterate everything that you typically said. Right, for customer, once it's going smoothly, if I see Paystack and it's going smoothly, fine. Right, if you use another payment infrastructure that maybe it's not solid, and there's a problem, it becomes your problem, not a concern that payment system. I'll try paying you on budgeting. Right, so for other players in the payment infrastructure or payment processing, please get your things, ensure it is working. This is your expertise, right? The goal is, like Monobi say, you're helping me stay focused on the things that I do, then also ensure that you are doing your own thing, right? But we've seen that in some case, one way or the other, we've had good players in those markets, and they are really doing a great job empowering African businesses. Like you mentioned, 10 years ago, it was cash in, cash out. People are restricted to just one location. But now with solid payment infrastructure like Paystack, they can be in one place and then they are already serving the whole world, right? So with solid infrastructure, we are seeing African businesses grow and all of that. Actually, so one thing I've seen you said repeatedly, you said Bujeti and Paystack in the same sentence like multiple times. So I'm going to ask you this question, right? I'm just asking. If Bujeti is to leverage Paystack payment infrastructure today, what would that unlock for Bujeti customers or Bujeti users in practical terms, right? So what would that do? How would that leverage change things?
Okay. I'm generous in general, but for once, let me talk about myself first. What will it do for me? What will it do for me first? It will give me peace of mind, right? But secondly, it will give, for example, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Nubi, at Paystack, we might have for DVA, for virtual accounts, we might have the highest limit in the federation, because I don't call Nigeria a nation, I call it a federation, in the nation. if I'm not mistaken, right? So if that's the case, that means for all our customers have already a higher limit on the transaction they can move, on the money they can move. They have a trusted partner. They know that Paystack is powered by Paystack. They've already interacted with it before. They know how it goes. So we don't even need to introduce it. They just know it works, right? And as we mentioned, I usually BGT is not a Nigerian company. Sorry, Nigerians on the call. BGT is not a Nigerian company. BGT is a Pan African company, right? And so is Paystack. Paystack is no longer a Nigerian company, right? So yes, it was born in Nigeria, but it's not a Nigerian company. So everywhere Paystack is, technically, that means BJT can go. So now we are continental or intercontinental or global, which is the goal. So our customers, just by signing up with BJT automatically, oh, I can sell to Kenya, I can sell to Ghana, oh, I can have team in Senegal, I can have team in Benin Republic, because I need to give props to Hope. But yeah, it's what those are things that and the partnership between Paystack and BJT can do for us, for me, and for the customers. But again, this Paystack is within BJT already. It's like it's
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. Right, thank you so much. Right, so first is for you yourself, you can sleep well at night knowing that everything is working smoothly. And then for our customers, first is they will probably be able to experience higher transaction limits, right? Smooth payment experience, obviously scale the word. And maybe also, I think also one thing, maybe I think in my head that it's something that's going to be possible is also the way. I know that Bujeti has invoicing. It's also the part about paying invoicing with card, obviously with Paystack powering it and
yes,
all of that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So now you can even for your invoices, you can get paid in card, and on top of being paid in via transfer, right? So you can do your work, send your invoice to someone in the US and get paid. Of course, you can still do that on Paystack, given I just happen to just help on that team briefly. But yeah, you can do both, right? But that's the thing. And at the same time, you get your money back, right? You get paid from US. You can actually use Paystack to get paid through your invoice. Boom. Your money is at Paystack. Then you can use BJT to now spread it to the teams and get them to do what whoever paid the invoice wanted you to do in the first place. So if we cannot help you collect the payment from that invoice, you can still go on Paystack, send the invoice, get paid, and BJT will help you make sure the money goes to the right team, to the right people, to the right suppliers in Nigeria or in Kenya or Ghana. And then when it's done, you'll get the result back to whoever paid you from the US, and you keep the profit. And you repeat it, you keep repeating it until you become profitable, right? Just don't steal. Well, BJT will not allow you to steal anyway, so it's fine.
Okay. I For our listener, I know you are enjoying the conversation, right? And I don't want to rob it. I don't want to rob you of anything. If there's anything that you like our speakers to address, please drop it in the comment section. We'll be there. We'll pick it and then we'll address it to them, right? Depending when we can get your question. So, Nubi, we've talked about how a business, right? Maybe a business in Nigeria with Paystack, or the right infrastructure, let's just put it that way, can go global. They can be in one place and then send invoice, for instance, to their customers somewhere else, and then it pays them and they land in their accounts and all of that, right? But we still know that so many business in maybe Nigeria or Africa are still struggling to scale across Africa or even go global, right? Because maybe managing payments across countries or currency can still be a little bit of a blocker, right? We have people saying, oh, I'm in Naira, I want to pay my clients in China, I want to pay them in their local currency or something like that. From your expertise, right, obviously at Paystack, as Tribe, how do you think that leveraging Paystack or founders or business owners can sort of like leverage rights infrastructure like you for cross-border transaction or cross-border payments? Did you get a question?
Yeah. So I'll kind of, I guess, answer it in two parts. So maybe just first of all, like, how is Paystack helping think about growing beyond borders or expansion, and then also just advice for startups or business who are thinking about like cross-border scaling. So on the first part, like we're doing two things. First is we are expanding our footprint. So like Ashil mentioned, Paystack was born in Nigeria, so it was at first a Nigerian company, but quickly we added Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and also Ivory Coast as well. And like on the roadmap we have Egypt as well. So just having our footprint in those markets, just like I said, makes it very easy to say, okay, wherever Paystack is, and we have many people who have that, like that follow the Paystack for my expansion roadmap type of thing, because in those markets, and we can then even collaborate and even helping with launching, acquisition. But if you're serving businesses as well, like B2B software, like I mean, our customers might need your software, and so can we just even cross sell and all. So we've seen that, and we're always happy to do that. So just expanding our footprint is just one way we're doing that, and then so you can connect to like locally in more countries and connect to global rails as well. So that's the first. So African business can then go international. So for example, the startup I mentioned at the start, again in Nigeria, I was able to go into Ghana. We have the reverse as well, the Ghanaian startup going into Nigeria as well. So you can accept payments, mobile money, bank transfers, and other local payment methods from those markets. We also have, we are very API first as well. As you can testify to that, being a former engineer, yeah, Paystack. So you can plug into whatever stack you're building, and even third party like again Shopify, WooCommerce, and custom platforms, you name it. So that's kind of like the first part, just being in places so that again you can leverage that presence. The second will be just what advice then would I then have for thinking about cross-border scaling. So scaling across Africa means dealing with very fragmented payment methods, currencies, regulation. So you just really need an infrastructure that abstracts that complexity without removing control. And so with Paystack, we help business accept payments in Nigeria, like I said, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, and beyond with simple integration. So you're not again reinventing the wheel in every single market. Leverage our MOR, that's a merchant of record solution. You can actually be in one market and actually serve multiple markets, and with extracting all even taxes and all of that with our MOR partners. And you also need visibility into FX, settlement timelines and things like that, which is why I would think products like Budgeti are very complementary to what we do. They give finance leaders the control that they need to manage cash flow confidently across markets, across regions and jurisdiction as well. So I really think again thinking about, okay, what partner can I actually again would give me reach, would give me access, would not take away control from me, but again just make sure again I'm able to do that, like retain quality as well as I do that. So I'll say again in summary, we're expanding our footprints, we're building in all of those markets, but again we're also helping up complexities and without compromising on control that again founders and startups would need to operate in those different markets. Yeah.
Thank you. So essentially what that means is if you partner, for instance, with Paystack as a business, right? If you're already thinking of expanding or going global or going across Africa, everywhere that Paystack, in this case, let's say the payment infrastructure is Paystack, everywhere that Paystack go, you automatically have access to those places. So as Paystack is expanding, you automatically have access to those places. You can do transaction there. So it just makes cross-border payments like the seamless thing for you to do. So great. Because see on your end, right? I'm a business. You plugged me into Paystack, right? I am collecting or sending or processing cross-border payments, right? How do you help them manage this, right? Or is it possible that from the Budgeti platform, they can typically manage multi-currency transaction?
Yes, it's totally possible. There is this thing I usually say, but I think people who are really into regulations and legal stuff might say I shouldn't say it, but I really see currencies as passports, just stamp, right? All the operations that you have in Nigeria, you might have the same in Kenya. You can have the same team structure everywhere, in every country in Africa, but every currency is different, right? But it's still the same company, still maybe the same product, the same thing you are selling across board. And your goal is to have the same thing across board. So every a team in Kenya, someone in Rwanda, someone in South Africa or Morocco, they should feel to be part of the same company, right? So that's why I look at currencies as, or it's just a symbol, as in we can offer you the same software, the same processes, the same reliability, the same control, anywhere you are, anywhere your team is, anywhere your suppliers are. It's just the currency that changes. And the goal is to be able to collect all the currencies, right? So currently, you can already have few currencies that you can manage, not on top of Nigerian naira. But the goal is really to cover the rest of Africa, and also obviously have international currencies because we need to talk to the world, right? But it's to follow PAPs, for example. You guys are probably familiar with PAPs. The goal is to make transaction across the continent possible, right? We should be the case. It's possible, and we will help in doing that with the support of Paystack and other providers and other players on the continent and outside of the continent.
Okay, thank you. So essentially, with Budgetti, with Paystack, you can collect, send multi-currency, right? And then with Budgetti, you can manage it. We're almost ending this call, but you know what? I want to give you guys like 1 minute, say 1 minute or 1 minute and 1 minute 15 or 1 minute 20, 30 seconds to just do justice to this topic. I want you to feel free talk about it, right? So maybe in your word, if you were to talk about our payment infrastructure, typical Power African businesses, right? Apart from everything you've said, how would you say it again? What would you say that maybe somebody that is here maybe didn't join on time and didn't catch all of the gems you drop? What would you just say to summarize it? Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a bad conversation, so I guess I'll tell the person to go watch the video all over again because I think they want to get more than what I would just say now. And so yeah, well done for the amazing questions that you've put together to help extract these insights. But I think maybe one last thing I'll just say, or is just it's critical that founders, startups, businesses start treating payments like a product decision, not just a finance one. Choose infra partners who can scale with you, both in feature, but also geography. Build with, again, APIs that don't lock you in. So you don't want to build in a way where you're not like trapped, like a trapped out decision. Which is why I always tell people to be as agnostic as possible when it comes to choosing partners and infra partners. Always have redundancy. I know it's contrarian for me that I work at Paystack. Why would I tell you to do to not be only on Paystack? But I don't think that's wise either. Like we don't build our own infra on one bank either. Like we have banks that we integrate into. So again, have redundancy. Although we do promise that we will be the best of all the options. But also don't delay integrating basic automation like payment reminders, refunds, reconciliation, which again might be hard for you to do by yourself, but we partner like Budgetti as well, that again gets abstracted away for you. And the time you will save will compound, like the time savings. People think, oh, cheap is just getting lower fees somewhere or getting even free somewhere, but trust me, like you pay for it in another way, whether it's customer support, hiring people, like putting out fires, burning bridges, like quality churn. It's so just again think about again just this as an investment, and the time you will save will compound, and that's why we build things like Paystack, even things like webhooks, and why I think even Budget's approach to expense control is smart. It gives you the speed without sacrificing on control and governance. So I'll say just again think about this as a product decision, not just again like a dollar sense finance one. Yes, it can be a finance one, but secondarily, it should be primarily like again, this is a product decision, and how do I set up myself for success for the long run? Yeah. Oh, you're on mute now.
Yeah, yeah, you got me on that one. That's like 1-1. Achieve, before you talk about it again, because I also want you to be able to just use 1 minute to do justice to it, right? I have a question here, and I think this is available both on Paystack earn, and then also on Budgetis earn. Somebody is saying, I would like to know more about the instrumental payment for invoicing, right? So I think it is maybe when you create an invoice and then you allow your customer pay you, you put an instrumental payment option for a customer to pay you there or there. Actually, do you want to address it? No, but I don't know. Do you have this option on your end, Paystack?
Nubi. No, wait. I was waiting for Nubia because I'm not sure if there was installment on invoice at Facetac. I'm not sure. We have split. Do we? No, we don't.
No.
Yeah.
You would need you need a budget to make that sexy for you. I mean, it's possible. Everything is possible with
It's
API.
possible,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, since I wasn't able to finish it at Facetac, we have it at BJT, right? So yeah, you have installments. We don't have splits, so Facetac have split. We don't. So if you need splitting, you have to go to Facetac. If you need installments, you come to us. But yeah, installment, the way it works is really. I don't want to get to on this topic because it can that actually be another topic. My take on BNL, BPNL or BNLPL is a quite controversial, but I will say it anyway. I don't believe buy now pay later should be allowed in Africa for now, mainly because even if in Europe we are still having problem with it, right? But installment can be brought to Africa mainly because it's a matter of trust. I will allow installment to a customer that I trust, right? Or you can pay me 4 times, 10 times. Cool, because I know you. I will not just allow anybody to come register on my platform and ask for buy now, pay later and won't pay me. They will buy now, they won't pay. And they will do it for 10 other startups, and all 10 of them will be in debt, and all 10 of them will close. One of them will be bought by Providus or Zenith, and that's it. So yeah, that's why I don't want to talk about it, but we can talk about it another time. I'm saying it because probably Paystack powers some BNLP startups. You just tell them what I think. They can hit me up. But yeah, installment is really to allow you that flexibility when you have a trust established between yourself and a customer, yourself and the supplier to say, you know what, I know you, maybe you can pay me in 10 installments, so 1/10 of the amount 10 times. And for example, we can have that agreement of it's like escrow. You pay me when the payment is complete, I give you the product, right? So you go, you hustle, you bring the money, you pay me, I give you the product. Or because I know you that much, maybe after the first, second installment, I give you the product, or even give you the product beforehand. But it's a trust thing. I trust you. I know you. You paid me before. I paid you before. Again, buy now, pay later. We don't have that much trust in Africa. KYC is still broken. I don't know your address. Your address might be false, right? And those are things also that needs to be fixed. So there needs to be an infrastructure for that too, before we just dump buy now, pay later onto Africans just because it's working somewhere. So again, sorry if somebody is building.
No. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you as well. And I think my second startup, like which failed, was actually a safe to travel startup. So you're not actually like lending, you're actually saving towards your travel. So you pay in installments and then travel by your travel dates, then you pay the last amount and then you're good to go. And I think you also mentioned again paying. It's about trust, and so I think shout out to City Care. They're one of our top users, and they have a way where you pay up to 50%, and then you get the product, and then you pay the rest afterwards. So I agree with you that we need to actually adapt credit or lending, buy now pay later to the realities of what we have on ground. And really, how do you build trusts? And installments is one way of doing that. It's okay, there's a track record here. You can unlock more trust, more liquidity, more capital, and more. So yeah, I agree. I don't think we should ban it, but we should adapt
No,
it.
I'm not banning. That's why I said I don't want to share it right now. It's not banning. It's really there should. Yeah, it's just risky. It's just risky, and it can put a lot of. This is really about for the customers, even myself as a customer. It can put a lot of people in trouble. So we need to be a bit careful about it and just make sure at least it's B2B. At least on the B2B side, I know you as a business. You know me as a business. We have track record, as you mentioned. We have history, so we trust each other. But for the consumer, for now, is a bit risky. But that's not for me.
let's not go into that, right? I believe that they're already processing stores to ensure that these businesses are also safe. Like you say, there's trust, but there's also like processes put in place to ensure that when a customer is using buy now pay later, they can actually pay them for the goods. Like in case of CDK now, it's like 50% before you can even get the goods, and then it's maybe linked to your salary account or something like that. But yeah, I think now this is your time. We're already way behind time, but this is your time to do the final justice to this topic: how payment infrastructure power African businesses. If there's anything you want to say that you haven't said before, please go ahead, say it now. Thank you.
No, the only thing I will just add is, at least for me, we love Africa, right? And we want the continent to grow, the GDP to increase. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm misquoting. I think Patrick from Stripe always say, "Oh, increasing the internet GDP," right? And it's the same. Paystack is increasing the Africa's GDP, right? And other places, actually, not just Africa. And for us is to help businesses grow, right? And by growth, it means a lot of things. A part of it is premium. So the only thing I will add is sometimes you need to pay a little extra to get the best product, right? That's why, yes, you might find a product that look like another one, and that one is maybe cheap or free, as Nubi said. But there is a reason for one of them to not be free, right? And when you get there, you will see the reason. Sometimes you might have to pay something a bit more expensive. An employee a bit more expensive because we have the resources, we have the knowledge and the brain to do the work. If you get the cheap version, it won't work. So how can payment infrastructure leverage businesses? By finding them and be willing to pay what it costs, right? It costs money to make money. It costs money to run a business. And this payment infrastructure too is not free. It costs a lot. Nobody didn't say it yet, but it actually costs a lot to run these servers. It's not the code, it's the servers, right? So your payment infrastructure can determine sometimes whether you fail or succeed. So you need to take care of it and be really, how much can you invest in it, right? On the infrastructure. Who are you choosing? What's the relationship like? Who do they work with? What's the flexibility? What's the trust? And how much it costs? It might cost a bit extra, but it's enough money or the right amount for your own sanity and your customers' happiness.
Okay, I was about wrapping up this conversation, but I have one question, and I think it's like a very critical question. It's just fair that we answer that question. The person is saying, I'm hearing a reoccurring of trust being a critical player for strategic partnership, and rightly so. His question is, how, as a startup, what reference framework can one leverage to conduct comprehensive due diligence on a potential partner, right, within the payment ecosystem? So they want to pick a partner, maybe not necessarily Paystack that's already established that you already trust, and say caution that African or Nigeria or Africa don't have like a robust data frame. So I think I'll pass the question to Nobi. Nobi, you've worked with a lot of startup, right? As
Yeah.
the startup lead as Paystack, what is there a framework that you can say,
Hmm.
oh, this is what you reference if you're conducting a research on a payment partner to pick?
Yeah. To get, I would say for a startup, you don't want to flog this horse. Like, keep it simple. Talk to people. You're not the first person building something, so just talk to other founders. Find out what they're using. Find out their experience with the products. Find out their experience with the support for the products. Because again, it's not about only the product, but again, when things go wrong or when things break, do they get support that they need? Get things. Ask about the commercials. Like, okay, are you able to negotiate your commercials at what stage? So rather than a complex framework or like making this academic, I think just engaging with other founders, other builders as well, who perhaps have gone ahead of you and had some success, or even just your peers as well. Speak to developers, speak to builders who actually like have their hands on the business and know what's going on. Speak to people in customer support and just again talk to people and learn as much as you can. I think it's only when you've got to a stage where you're like, okay, do you know what? Me choosing between this, I'm not at a scale when me choosing between this partner and this partner would save me $20,000. Then maybe you start getting academic and start breaking things down to the nitty gritty and all. But at the very early stage, just again get some signals as quickly as possible on, does the product work? Would I get supported? Can I negotiate my commercials? And if it's all green, I think go. And like I said, also you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. So maybe just like one redundancy. Okay, I'll go with partner A as my primary partner, and then have this fail safe for when things break, partner B, and yeah, you're good to go. Yeah. I don't know if
Okay,
Ashil
thank you.
wants added it into that.
No, no,
You do.
I was nodding head and I was laughing because there's this company in Nigeria. It's not a Nigerian company. It's from outside of Nigeria. And if you have a problem and you go to find a solution for the problem, you will see this is a problem that has been there for 10 years. And these people haven't said anything, we haven't fixed it, right? But it's still happening. Yet they are expanding across the world, like aggressively. But they still have those problems that are still there. And that's not something that can happen at Paystack or BJT, at least as long as I'm here, right? But yeah, we have this. It's important. Support is super important, to be honest. There are some, I mentioned we lost our provider for a few weeks. If we didn't have the support that we had, we would have lost them, right? So support is super key. You might think you lost a customer, it's just because nobody has talked to them for a week or two. Just speak to them. So speak to your customers. Sometimes I might even know your customer can introduce to a provider, basically. If you don't trust me, maybe it will happen to you. Watch and see.
Okay, thank you, Nubu, thank you, Achio. So for the person that asked this question, there's a thing Yoruba say. I'm just going to say it, right? If you're Yoruba, you get it. Abiriono, Kunishiyono. Like if you ask questions, you will not misread, right? So instead of trying to maybe what did you say? Sorry.
I'm not Yoruba. Can you explain, please?
Oh, like if you ask question, like if you ask direction, you will not miss the road, right? Like you won't miss the route, right? So I'm saying to this person, like Kay has said, just ask other founders, right? Ask question. It could be other founders. It can even be your customer, right? Ask them, oh, what payment platform are you currently using? How is it? Kiniko, don't just ask just the good part. Also ask when something fails, how is their support? How does it get resolved? That way you already know, right? You already know, okay, this is the good side, this is the bad side, and all of that. Oh, how much do they charge? You can also ask the commercial, right? And all of that. You can also check their track record. You can go on their page, right? And also check, oh, are people complaining? How do they address those people? Those are some of the things you can do at the any stage. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to look for a big framework and all of that. Start that route. And like Noble say, when you scale, obviously you maybe now have maybe 2 trusted payment partners that you have on your platform, and then you can start considering the cost. Or okay, partner A gives me rest of mind, I can sleep, everything goes well, same as partner B, but partner A charges me this, partner B charges me, then you can start considering costs. So yeah, I hope that we answered your question. So yeah, okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Just to add, it's something that might be new in Nigeria, at least. Don't use any provider, don't put your price on your website. Actually, you shouldn't. Okay. Because that means they are hiding something. Yeah, sometimes you will get to sign NDAs for your pricing. So imagine your provider is doing that for all his customers. So none of them has the same price. So actually they don't have a price, right? So you don't actually know how much it costs, really. They might overcharge you, they might undercharge you. So yeah, if you don't see a clear price on the website, try to stay away.
Okay.
You can still talk to them, but still try to stay away.
Okay, just add to everything we said. So if you asked your question, also do your research. So if you've spoken to like 10 people thereabouts, I'm just saying, and they recommend this partner to you, or maybe let's say 2 payment partners to you, also check them, right? Like I said, you can check their pages. You can also check their websites, right? To see it's all of the information that you, maybe the ones that you heard from the people that you ask question, is it available on their website? just something to just solidify you so that when you make your option, you know that, oh, you have all the critical information on that bit of things. But yeah, we spent 1 minute and nine, so like 1 hour and 10 minutes, right? So thank you so much everybody for joining. Thank you Nubi, thank you Achille for giving me 1 hour of your time to really go over this topic. I hope that we did justice to it, right? So again, we've talked about that payment is not just about moving money, that beyond that there's a solid engine. This engine is actually powering business growth, right? It's allowing enabling businesses move from one location to serving the whole world, right? Helping them manage multi-currency and do much more, allowing them focus. Actually, they can save their focus and then do big things, right? Expand, scale with control and all of that. So thank you so much. I'm actually looking forward to what Paystack and Budgetti will do, so I'm keeping my finger crossed among any alongside everybody to know how the collaboration between Paystack and Budget is
I
going to.
will be in the Nubi's DM.
You'll be in Obis there. Oh, please do. All right. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for people that ask questions and all of that. Right. So please follow our speakers on their different LinkedIn page. Right. Yeah, Nubike. I'm sure it's Nubike on LinkedIn, and I'm also sure it's Achikosi on LinkedIn. Right. You can start with LinkedIn. Right. And also, if you need information about anything about Paystack, I'm sure Nubi is available to provide you guidance on that bit. And also, if you need information about Budgetti, you can reach out to Achille. You can also reach out to me because I lead product marketing at Budgetti. So please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much. That will be all for today. Please keep your finger crossed for our next webinar. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nubi. Thank you, Achille.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nubi. See you.
Bye.
Thanks, Easy. Bye.
Yeah, bye.